Welcome to episode 1 of season 9 of W-EPS The Beak. I'm Wyatt Paul. As last year came to an end, so did the tenure of EPS math teacher Dorothy Heidoff. Upon the announcement of her retirement, the administration began their search for a suitable replacement. That's where Mr. Brian McGill came in. McGill has stepped in to take the reins of several math classes this year. Join me as we get to know all about Mr. McGill.
I was born in Denver, and then my family moved to Northern California, but I found them. Then when I was 9, we moved from Northern California down to Southern California. I grew up there. It was a great place to live at the time. I went to high school at Walnut High School in Walnut, California. Then I went to college at Cal Poly Pomona, California, which was like 3 miles from my house. So I could ride my bike there, and I did quite often, even though I had a car. I've always had a deep love for Nebraska since I was born. Both my parents, my dad was born in Wisner, my mom was born in St. Ben, which is near Lindsay. And we came out here on our vacations when I was a kid, and we all loved it. I had several uncles who were farmers, had big farms in the Lindsay area. There's big families. I have, on my mom's side, 28 first cousins. Many of them are farmers around the Lindsay area. And then my dad's side, I have a bunch of cousins too. So even though I came from California, my heart has always been in Nebraska. I've done all kinds of things. I was a division controller for Weyerhaeuser Company. They're a big paper company and forest products company. I was the controller for Healthometer, which was a scale company. That was the financial controller. Healthometer owned Mr. Coffee, and it was about $1 billion company at the time. And then I left them. Shortly thereafter, they were sold to Sunbeam. I had other jobs where I was in charge of the finances for pretty large companies. I had a bunch of other jobs. I was a poker player for 2 years. I drove a truck for 6 years. I worked in other types of finance. I wanted to be a teacher for probably the last 10 years. I always felt like I could be good at it. And I wanted to live out here in this part of Nebraska. So if I'm going to live out in this part of Nebraska, there's really nothing else I would really want to do. I bought a house in Petersburg, and I was lucky enough to get a job here as a math teacher. Probably different than everybody else. While I was still driving a truck, I had to study to pass the math praxis test. It was a somewhat difficult test that, I could become a math teacher because I have a degree in accounting. But I had to pass this math praxis test, which was all math that I have taken before, but it had been a long time ago. I studied for the test and I passed it. And then that made me eligible to be a math teacher, but still I have to at the same time take classes at Chadron State College to still be qualified to be a teacher, or certified to be a teacher. So I will be taking classes at Chadron for probably the next 3 years. I love math. a couple of years I've been studying math to pass the praxis test, and also in college because I took Calculus 2 last spring, and I'm taking Calculus right now. And it's a lot of work, but it's always been interesting to me. I've never thought, why am I doing this? Boy, this is crazy. I'll never get it. I've always understood it, and I've always been good at it. When I was in high school and college, I did it all in my head. I never took notes. And now I'm a little bit older, quite a bit older, and so I have to take notes, I have to study more, but I still find it fascinating, and I find the mathematics beautiful. I teach the 7th grade, all the 7th grade students in math, and then most of the 8th graders in pre-algebra. Then I teach algebra to a freshman class, and then Algebra 2 to a sophomore class, and Algebra 2 to a junior class. I also teach at the Nebraska It's NMRP, Nebraska Math Readiness Program, and that's my first period. They're all favorites. I can't say one over the other. I do have, some classes are, I think the Algebra 2 classes are more interesting for me, but I love all my students. Well, if I could teach, I could teach a lot of things. I could teach history. I've read hundreds of history books. I think I could teach English. I was a linguist in the military. That was a heavy involved in learning another language, and I learned a lot about English. I think I could teach a lot of different subjects. Since I graduated from high school or college, I've always read. I've always learned. So I'm certainly not the same person I was back then, because I have so much knowledge in so many different areas. I've coached baseball before. I played college baseball, and I actually was a high school freshman baseball coach one year, and I've coached Little League and other baseball before, and I guess I played baseball as a manager of a pretty good semi-pro team. It was all ex-pros and college players. I gotta say, I probably don't want to. It would be baseball, but they don't have that. And I'm much better as a fan. I would like to go to the games and be supportive of the students, but I don't think there's another sport I could teach, and I don't know if I would really have the passion behind doing something like that at this point. I would say friendly. The students here are very friendly. Last year I substituted at several different places, and I found it remarkable how each one of them was different. Even though we're all in rural Nebraska, all the different schools that I went to had their own personality. And it goes to my classes too. All my classes have their own personality. The personality here at Elgin is very friendly. The thing that I'm looking forward to is having a good first year and knowing that the students that I've had all year have learned their math. And that's my goal, and let's see how well they do at that. My biggest challenge is not going to be the math. There's no math that I'm going to have in this class that I don't know and don't fully understand. But how to deal with a discipline situation, or deal with maintaining my lesson plans and grading and all the things that a teacher needs to do other than teach. Those are my biggest challenges. I'd say I'd like to play poker, and I basically have given that up. I played in a few tournaments this year, but I have to drive to Omaha or drive to Las Vegas to play. And I'm going to school full-time and teaching full-time, so I'm working so many hours that I'm not really doing anything else. I have a garden. I have plans for my house that I want to accomplish, but right now I've got so much effort into learning how to teach and then also doing the school at Chadron that I really don't have time for that. I consider myself very much an introvert, and I don't know why. The kids in the class a lot of times laugh. A lot of times I don't get it. Well, just recently I've been using artificial intelligence to help me come up with problems for the students to use. And I like that. The book a lot of times will have 4 different types of problems, and if the students don't get the concept on just those 4 problems, the book isn't enough. And so I get 15 of the problems from artificial intelligence, and that works real well. I've always considered myself at the leading edge of technology, but all this technology that we have here in the classroom is new to me, and I still haven't mastered it yet, but I plan to.
Thanks, Mr. McGill, and thank you for joining us for another episode of W-EPS The Week. Be sure to check out our newsletter, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at W-EPS The Week. On air, in print, in the know.